Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 1991 Jaguar Sport XJR-15. Now this was produced between 1990 and 1992, with 53 of them being made. Now this was made by Jaguar Sport, a subsidiary of Jaguar, and it is based on the successful Jaguar XJR-9 race car, which won the 1988 24 Hours of Daytona and the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the same year. Now this is the first road-going car made entirely out of carbon fibre and Kevlar composites, beating the McLaren F1 by 1 year. Has independent suspension, disc brakes all round, and a 5-speed manual gearbox. So yeah, with it being made out of carbon fibre and Kevlar, this only weighs 2,315 pounds, which is despite the fact it's 189 inches long, which is, you know, hardly a small car. Unfortunately, we can't look in the at the engine, but we can look at the front bit here. Again, like the GMC Jimmy, I'm not sure if that's a glitch with the game or just they didn't model the engine, but yeah, regardless, we can at least look inside. As you can see, despite being right-hand drive, the gear lever is also on the right, meaning that you have very close gear switches, with close gear changes with the really rather small steering wheel. But the dials are nice and clear. You've got all of your electronics right near you as well, and because the car has no insulation, you've also got a microphone between you and the passenger, who are really rather quite close together. And yeah, you have to say it's got really rather wide door sills, so you have to more step into the car more than, you know, sit in it to start with. And yeah, overall it does look pretty decent. It's got a twin exhaust, a nice big spoiler, really rather wide tyres, and yeah, the engine itself is a 6-litre V12 engine producing 450 horsepower and 420 pounds-feet of torque. And I know that doesn't sound all that much for a car with such a large engine, but for something from 30 years ago, that isn't half bad, and especially when you consider it weighs so little as well. So yeah, but nonetheless, let's get out to the drag strip first, see how quick this can go before it hits the speed camera, and then we'll get onto the racetrack. So here we are at the drag strip, so let's see what this car can do in a straight line in such a short space of time. So it's got really rather quite long gears at times, which is not surprising given it's only a 5-speed. 145.48 I think was there, so that's pretty damn quick for a 30-year-old car that doesn't even have 500 horsepower. So yeah, let's get to the racetrack and see how quick we can go on there. So yeah, but this is still a really rather formidable car for something of its age, and even though it is based on a race car, it really doesn't feel like it all that much. I'm sure it's extremely loud in real life and everything, but yeah, the rover cars that are supposed to be, you know, race cars for the road and whatever else that feel and sound and come across a lot worse than this. So yeah, Jaguar Sport did a really rather good job with this. Obviously where it shines is going to be on the racetrack, so let's get there. Rivals, it's in S1 class, so let's see what it can do. So yeah, it's got very little in the way of weight, so therefore it can be a little bit skittish at the rear end, but yeah, once you get used to it, the oversteer really isn't really all that much to be concerned by. Especially since it's got that rear wing and quite wide rear tyres. Also sounds pretty good as well for something that's quite low revenue for a naturally aspirated V12. And yeah, this is one of the barn finds as well, if you didn't know, if you've never seen those barn find videos. So it's well worth getting those barn finds, because you can get a great car like this. So yeah, as you would expect for something that has quite a fair bit of power and torque and not much in the way of weight, this is rather quick in terms of acceleration. 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. 0 to 107.183 seconds, and it goes to a top speed of 208 miles an hour, which is getting awfully close to the XJ220, which, you know, obviously had more power than this, but yeah, due to this being a lot lighter and probably better in terms of aerodynamics, it's yeah, getting very close to that formidable XJ220. So yeah, imagine what that would have been like had it been more like this. Because the XJ220 originally was supposed to have a big V12 engine, It originally was supposed to be quite lightweight, but because of budgetary cuts and a financial crisis that hit at the time, we had to skimp on it. And now the XJR-15 is still a really, really good car, there's no doubt about that. But there is a certain sense of what could have been after driving this. So I've never driven this on a previous Forza game, I don't think. Don't think I've ever driven it on any other racing game either. So yeah, it came as a real shock at how much different this is to the XJR-15, even though it's not got as much power and the top speed isn't as formidable. Handling wise, it is mostly good. Obviously, there is some understate. You can mess it up like I do. It's not a perfect car. No car really is when you got a squishy human driving it, but it's still pretty damn quick, and yeah, ripe for upgrades as well, as you usually do in these kind of games. So yeah, great car. Really do like it. Well worth finding it in the barn find. Taking out those few minutes to find it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what this can do in something like how fast will it go, because yeah, you got numerous engine choices, not much in the way of weight, so any extra power you give it isn't going to be wasted, and yeah, it's already a fast car at the top end, so it can only really get any faster. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.